This is continuation of multi-step equations, numbers 7 to 12. So let's continue and proceed to the problem sets. Start with the first screen. So this is number 7, and this is 90 equals 5 times the quantity 2 plus 4p. Now we're going to solve this in the whiteboard again, so we have to get the other screen on the other side. We should be doing it over here. Now the sound that you hear is actually the sound coming from the keyboard. It sounds like a drum. All right, so let's copy the problem first. Let me check my other screen. All right, there. And then we move this a little bit over there. And start with the text. And all right, let's copy the problem first. So we have here, just write it down because you can only see one screen at a time. You won't be able to see the two screens at the same time. So when you see the given problem, you may write it down in the paper. And then you can follow the steps over the other screen. All right, so to start with, this is number 7. Given is 90 equals 5 times the quantity 2 plus 4p. That's it. So this is the given problem, and all right, so we usually write the word solution there first. All right, and all right, how about the plan in solving this particular given? For me, I usually try to reduce the numbers if it's possible. Okay, that is if it's possible. And 90 is divisible by 5, so we can start by division, making the numbers smaller. Or you can do another way by multiplying the terms inside by the 5. That will make the numbers larger. But the way I do it, if I could see something I can divide, making the number smaller, I proceed that way. So from the 90 equals 5 times the quantity 2 plus 4p there. My next line will now be just division by 5. 90 divided by 5 there. That's for the left side. For the right side, we have 5 times the quantity 2 plus 4p. We divide this also by the same number, 5. Yeah. All right, so 90 divided by 5, that must be about 18. And this 5 over here will divide by this 5. And that will give us 1. And then that number 1 will be multiplied by this quantity. So 5 divides by 5, giving 1. And then times the quantity 2 plus 4p there. And so when you simplify the right side, this will just be 1 times 2 plus 1 times 4p, which gives us 2 plus 4p at the right side. This will just be 2 plus 4p there, like that. And then the left side will remain 18 there. And now we continue by simplification. We shall try to isolate the term with the letter p, and we can only do that by moving these 2 and making this 0, and we can do that by way of subtraction property. So for the next line, we'll apply subtraction. 18 minus 2 for the left side is equal to 2 plus 4p, also minus 2 there. And so this left side will be reduced now to 16, and the right side, you can see this 2 minus 2, that's 0, and then we have 0 plus 4p. And so leaving the right side only 4p. So we reach this part, which we can only now do division, because we are down to 4p here. Once we remove the 4, it will just become p, and we can only do that by way of division property. So 16 divided by the number 4 must be equal to 4p divided by the number 4. So this leaves us 4, and this is equal to just p. Well, now 4 equals p is not the usual way to write it, so we will have to write this like p equals 4. Yeah. And this is actually the symmetric property of equality. So if 4 equals p, then p equals 4, and our answer is 4. So let's go to the other screen to find out if we're correct. Let's see that there. So let me get that screen for you. All right, I don't think you can see that. Let me show the other screen for you. There. Okay, we're back to the other screen, and this must be 4. All right, that's the answer. Okay, that goes to number 7. All right, we'll try to do the next number, number 8. Okay, here's number 8. Negative 3 times the quantity 7n minus 8 equals 150. Okay, this is number 8. So we shall go back to the other screen whiteboard so we can solve it there. All right, so going back to the whiteboard again. And then we're back to the whiteboard. We're going to erase this part here. And then we will now be doing number 8. Okay, so to start with this, we will have to copy the problem. This is negative 3 times the quantity 7, and let's make it a smaller letter, minus 8, and this is equal to 150. Then. All right, let's start with the solution. Okay, so we have here negative 3 times a quantity, and then equals 150. And you can see these two numbers, 3 and 150. 150 is divisible by 3, and we can reduce the numbers. Okay, in other words, we can reduce the numbers first. So we shall divide by the negative 3. So negative 3 times the quantity 7 and minus 8. There. Now we will divide this left side by the negative 3. And then this equates to 150, also divided by a negative 3. There. All right, for the next line, this negative 3 divides exactly by the negative 3, giving us a positive 1. So positive 1 times the quantity 7n minus 8. There. And this equates to the right side. That's 150 divided by negative 3. It's a negative 50. There. So a positive 150 divided by a negative 3, that must be exactly negative 50. Okay, so after doing that, the left side will just be 1 times the terms inside the parentheses. So any number multiplied by 1 gives the number or the quantity. So the left side will just be 7n minus 8. And then the right side will remain negative 50. Okay, so we're now going to isolate the term with a letter, and we can only do that by removing this 8 here, and we can eliminate this by addition, by way of addition. All right, why do we have to apply addition there? Why do we have to apply addition? Now, you see, that's a negative 8. If you add 8, that's a 0. That's why we can apply addition. So this is 7n minus 8. We apply addition plus 8. And then we proceed to the right side. That's negative 50. We also do the plus 8. There. Next line, we have 7n minus 8 plus 8. These two here results to 0. We will be now having just 7n. and that equates to the right side, which gives us a negative 50 plus 8 is a negative 42. There. So we're down to this simpler equation, which we only need to divide by the 7 or apply division property again. So 7n divided by the number 7 equals negative 42 divided by the positive 7. Question, why do we apply division there? Remember, 7n divided by 7 gives 1, and then 1 times n. And we're after getting the n, just n. So we still have that 7. At this point, we will now have 7n divided by 7, which is now just n. There. Remember, this number 7 here cancels out with the 7, giving 1, and then 1 times n, that's just simply n. Now, the right side numbers results to a negative 6. And that's it. The answer is negative 6. And it's time to verify the answer in the other screen. So let's go back to the other screen. There. And we shall find out the answer. There. It's a negative 6. So that's our answer, negative 6. So we will now continue with the next number. Let's proceed to number 9. Here is number 9. Okay. Let's solve this on the other side. We'll go back to the other side. Okay, we click on the whiteboard again. We're back to the whiteboard. Yeah. All right, so we can continue by clearing the whiteboard first because number 8 is still there. Okay, number 8 is still there. So we're going to remove this value, okay, and write things on the board. All right, so we'll just clear it there, and we will start doing number 9. Okay, number 9. So let me just rewrite. Let's write. Okay. Let me just adjust my screen to a larger version. There. Okay. All right. Let me start with number. All right. See, this is number 9. And the problem goes like 8 times the quantity, negative 7b plus 5, and then close plus 4. And then we have 7b plus 2 equals 76. There. Let me just verify if I have copied correctly. All right. 8 times the quantity, negative 7b plus 5, close parenthesis plus 4, times the quantity 7b plus 2 equals 76. All right. All right. Next, we shall continue with the solution. All right, let's continue with the solution. Okay, we usually write the word first, solution, to indicate it's the solution, and then we shall try to figure out what can we do to make the solution simpler. All right, you can see here by observation, this is 8, this is 4, and this is 76. If we can only reduce the numbers by way of division, then we will be working with smaller numerical values. Okay, you see these two numbers here, 8 and 4. 4 can be divided by 4 exactly with 0 remainder. 8 can be divided by 4 also with 0 remainder. How about 76? Can we divide 76 by 4 also with 0 remainder? Of course, that should be about 19, okay? 19 times 4 is 76, okay? All right, so we can start by dividing first by the smallest. Divide each, all right? This is one term, okay? Plus another term equals another term. So to start with the solution, okay, our starting step is to divide by the smallest, number 4, okay? All right, so we will start with 8 times the quantity, negative 7b plus 5 we shall divide here by the number 4, okay, by the number 4. All right, so we can actually show this clearer, okay. All right, let me just show you later. Okay, let me rewrite that problem over there so that you won't be confused with the divide. And this is equal to 7, 6. Okay, we mean something like this, okay? This will be something like, all right, we shall put a line here, there, like that, and over here, and then we're going to divide this by 4, like that, and this also by 4, okay, and this by 4, like that, okay? All right. Now, when we do this, the next line will be, we're going back to text. All right, let's put it right over here. Now, this 8 divided by 4 gives us 2. And then this will be multiplied by the same quantity, negative 7b plus 5. And then this 4 divides by the 4 exactly 1, positive 1. So this is plus 1 times the quantity 7b plus 2, there. And then this is equal to 76 divided by 4. What is that number again that we had a while ago? That looks like 19, okay? 19 and 19, 38, 38 and 38 is 76, okay? So that should be 19, there. All right, so our line here gives us smaller numbers, okay? Smaller numbers. We can now expand it. These 2 will be multiplied by these terms inside. So 2 times negative 7b is negative 14b, there. And then, in other words, we're going to distribute the 2 going there, and then going to the 5. So 2 times the positive 5 is a positive or plus 10. And then we go to the next term. This is number 1, positive 1. Positive 1 and positive 7b multiplied, that gives us only 7b. And then we proceed to the next multiplication, 1 times 2. That should be a positive 2, there. And this equates to 19, there. So at this point, we're going to simplify, combine like terms. We shall now have negative 14b and a 7b together. That results to a negative 7b. And then these 2 numbers here, 10 and 2, both positive, this will sum up to a plus 12, there. And then this is equal to 19. Okay, further simplification, we shall isolate the term with a letter by moving out the 12. Since it's a plus 12, we shall make that 0 by way of subtraction. So we will apply subtraction property, which is a minus 12. So we start with negative 7b plus 12. We apply minus 12. Also, at the right side, we apply also a minus 12. There. Then this simplifies to negative 7b. And this 2 number 12s is 0. And this equates to just 19 minus 12, which is exactly positive 7. And then the next step will now be just divide. And we will have the answer after that. And our divisor will be the number beside the letter b. That's exactly negative 7. So our divisor is a negative 7. Negative 7b, we divide this by negative 7. This is equal to 7 divided by negative 7. There. And so we are going to have the next line, negative 7 divided by negative 7 is positive 1. Positive 1 times b is simply b. And here's the answer. Positive 7 divided by negative 7 is just negative 1. That should give us the final answer. And we'll be able to find out after a little while on the other side. All right, so let's verify. Remember, our answer is negative 1 for variable b, negative 1. So we shall proceed to the next screen. All right, so this will be over here. And where's the answer? There, it's a -1. And you can see it clearer. I can enlarge it there. It's -1. Okay, that's our answer on the other side. All right, so if you don't have any question with number 9, we shall continue with next number 10. Here's number 10. 63 is equal to 7 times the quantity n plus 1 minus 7 times the quantity 6n plus 7. This is the problem 10 example of our lecture note. And we shall proceed with the solution on the other side. So let's go back to our other screen, which is the whiteboard screen. There. And we will have to clear out this. Okay, so we just clear this out. We're now doing number 10. Okay, we're now doing number 10. Okay, so before we do that, let me just do a little adjustment there so I can see it clearly. All right, there. Okay, let me start with problem number 10. We have 63 equals 7 times the quantity n plus 1 minus 7 times the quantity 6n plus 7. There. This is number 10. Okay. All right. Now let's continue. This is now the given problem, and we shall continue with the solution. All right. Okay. So this is the given example. Now let us observe the numbers first. Okay, from the given, we have 63. We have a 7. This is one term. This is another term connected by a minus. Okay, connected by a minus. So this means product minus product. So you can see a common number 7, and we have a 63. We know there's a number 7 in 63 because 7 times 9 is 63. So we can try reducing the numbers first by way of dividing each term by the number 7. That will be a good approach. Okay. All right. Let me show you how we shall continue. Okay. We have here 63 equals 7 times the quantity n plus 1, and this is minus 7 times the quantity 6n plus 7, and then we shall try to divide each by the 7. All right, let me indicate that again. All right, so this will have to be divided by 7. Okay. Also, this term and this term divided each by the 7. Okay. The smaller numbers among the 3. Okay. We have 63, 7, and 7. So we choose the 7 as divisor. And this will result to, all right, 63 divided by 7, that should be 9. We shall continue by using text. All right, this now 63 by 7, that's 9. And this is equal to, this is 7 divides by 7, that gives only 1. So this will be simplified to 1 times the quantity n plus 1. And this is again 7 divided by 7, that's another 1, but this is a minus. So this will proceed like minus 1 times the quantity 6n plus 7. There. So we have now smaller numbers. And we can now do the simplification by distributing the number 1s. So the left side will still remain 9. Right side becomes 1 times n. And then here is 1 times 1. Both positive gives plus 1. And here we have 1 times 6n. This proceeds like -1 times 6, which results to -6n. and this is now -1 times the 7, which results to a -7. Yeah. And so this will continue by simplification. Okay, let's continue with 9 on the left side. We simplify the n and the -6n, the terms with the letters. That should result to a -5n. And then the numbers now, 1 positive, 7 negative, results to a -6. There. Okay, after doing that, we can now proceed to further simplification by obtaining now or isolating the term with the n. And we can do that by making this 0. And we can make this 0 by way of adding 6. So this will now be 9 plus 6, and then -5n minus 6. We add 6. And so this will zero out, these two here. And so we continue with the next line. This is 9 plus 6, that's 15. And the right side is now just -5n. No more number 6 because these two are zeros out. All right. So the next line, we're going to solve the problem by the last and final step, and that's by division. Okay. So this is now 15. We divide by the number beside the letter, and that should be the -5. And this is -5n. We divide this by the -5. There. So this will now be giving us 15 divided by -5 is a -3. There. And this is equal to just n. Okay. There. Now, -3 equals n, we don't usually write it that way. -3 equals n, we don't write it this way. So we're going to arrange this, okay, using the symmetric property of equality. This must be n equals to the -3. So our final answer is -3. And we shall find out the answer on the other side. So let's proceed to the other screen. All right, this is it. Remember, our answer is -3. Is it -3? Yes, it's -3. So that goes to number 10. So we shall have two more numbers, the number 11 and the number 12. Okay. All right. So this is number 11 and this is number 12. Now, number 13 involves fraction. So we shall do a different discussion for this. Okay. So we shall stop in number 12. All right. So let's go back to number, where we now? We are doing number 11. Okay. We're doing number 11. Here's number 11. Okay. All right. Here's number 11. And we shall copy this problem in the whiteboard. Okay. All right. So we shall go back to the whiteboard and write this down. Okay. So we shall clear number 10 first. And now we can have the number 11, okay, copied over here. All right. So let me just adjust my screen. Okay. All right. All right. Let's do now our number 11. Let me copy the problem. This is 4 times the quantity -5r plus 3, close parentheses, minus the quantity 5 plus 7r, close parentheses, equals 34. There. Okay, that should be our number 11. You should try to write down each number, okay, and have some reference data there, so that if you want to follow while I am doing it in the whiteboard, then you can actually trace the solution, okay, and verify it yourself. So that's the given problem for number 11. So let's continue with the solution, okay. We can do a little adjustment over here. This is now number 11. This is solution. Okay, now let's examine the numbers. We have here 4. Here is 1. Okay. There's a number 1 here, invisible. Okay. There's a 1 here. All right. This is 34. In other words, you cannot do what we did in the previous problem because we cannot reduce the numbers. So this time we will proceed by expansion. We will multiply this and then to the 3, and then this is a minus. Okay, so this quantity is preceded by a minus. That means this 5 will change in sign to a negative, and this positive 7r will also become negative. Okay, because it's preceded by a minus sign. So the moment you remove this parenthesis, this will change its signs because it is preceded by a minus. All right, so how do we do that? We expand first. 4 times negative 5r is negative 20r. There. Then next, we multiply 4 and 3. That should be plus 12. There. Then next, this is now what we discussed a while ago. We simply remove the parentheses and reverse the signs of the 5 and the 7. It's like negative 1 times 5. So this will now be a minus 5. So it's like negative 1 times 7r. That's minus 7r. And then we go to the other side, the right side of the equation. We have 34. So this is now the first step in our solution. Next line, we try to simplify. Let's combine like terms. This one is a letter r. Also, this one is letter r. So we can combine the negative 20r, negative 7r, which is negative 27r. Now we go to the numbers 12 and negative 5. That should be about positive 12, and negative 5 is a positive 7. There. So we're through with the left side. We now continue with the right side. That remains 34. Okay, next step, we shall isolate now the term with the letter r. Now, how do we do that? We shall move the 7. This we have to reduce to 0, so that one side is just a term with a letter. And so how do we do that? We apply subtraction. Since it's a positive, you apply subtraction. So you have negative 27r, and then you have plus 7, you subtract by 7. And that's equal to 34, you subtract also 7. There. All right, so the next line you have negative 27r, and these two number 7s reduced to 0. And then the right side is 24 minus 7. And that should be a positive 27. So 34 minus 7 is 27. And so the next line will just be division property. So we have negative 27r. We divide this by the number beside the r. And that number is negative 27. And then the right side is exactly positive 27. We will also divide this by the same number, negative 27. So the final answer, this will just give us r. Okay, let us go to the next line. This gives us r, and that equates to negative 1. Yeah. All right, this, let me explain. Negative 27r divided by negative 27 is a positive 1. Positive 1 times r is the r. That's for the left side. The right side is a positive 27, dividing it by a negative 27. So that's exactly negative 1. So our final answer for number 11 is negative 1. We shall try to figure out the answer on the other side. And we shall be able to move to the other screen. And what's the answer for 11? Negative 1. So we're correct for number 11. We shall solve now the next number. If you don't have any question, we shall continue with number 12. Okay, here's number 12. Number 13 has fractions, so we shall stop here. Okay, after this, we're done with this session, and we will continue with the next in another time. All right, so this is the given for number 12. Negative 72 equals negative 4 times the quantity b minus 1 plus 4 times the quantity negative 3b minus 3. Okay, so how shall we solve this number 12? Okay, by observation, you can see numbers 4 and another number 4 here and a 72 here. Okay, and we should be able to determine if 72 is divisible by the number 4. Okay, will that be divisible by number 4? That looks like, how much is that? 18. 18, okay? 72 divided by 4 is 18. If you divide 72 by 2, that's 36. Dividing 36 by another 2, that looks like 18. Yes, 18. All right, so we can actually reduce this and then come up with the smaller numbers. All right, we shall try to do that in the whiteboard. So let's go back to the whiteboard for this final number. And let's remove number 11. Okay, let's write now number 12 over here. So let's copy first the problem. Okay, this is now number 12. The given is negative 72. That's equal to negative 4 times the quantity b minus 1 plus 4 times the quantity negative 3b minus 3, and then close parenthesis. Okay. All right, so assuming we have copied correctly, all right, so make sure you are copying it there, okay? Copy it in a piece of paper so at least you have the reference given problem and you can follow the solution from your paper. All right, let's continue. Let me just do a little adjustment with the screen so it will be a little wider. All right, there. Okay, so this is now the solution, all right, for this number. All right, like what I said, we're going to divide each term by the number 4 so that we will have smaller numbers. So we will start with the given again. Negative 72 equals negative 4 times the quantity b minus 1. And then we have the plus 4 times the quantity negative 3b minus 3, close parenthesis. So we shall try to divide each numbers because this is one term and then this is another term, okay? The product of these two quantities plus the product of these two quantities. So we shall try to simplify the numbers. Let me get my pointer, all right? This will have to be divided by the 4, okay? So let me do that first. Okay, we will have to divide this way, just like in the other numbers. We shall divide this by the smaller, okay, 4, okay? There, you divide this by the 4. Make sure you divide each term by the same number. All right, now we continue with the text. All right. Okay, negative 72 divided by 4 is negative 18. There. Next, go to the next. The right side, we have negative 4 by 4 is a negative 1. There. So this will be negative 1 multiplied now the quantity b minus 1. There. And this is 4 divided by 4. That must be a positive 1. So this is now plus 1 times the same terms inside, negative 3b minus 3. There. So we have smaller numbers now. We shall now continue expansion. Is now negative 18 for the left side. And then for the right side, you simply distribute this negative 1. Distribute it to these two. So negative 1 times b is negative 1b or simply negative b. And here is negative 1 times negative 1, that's plus 1, okay? Plus 1, okay? That's the product of the two negative numbers. Now here is a positive 1. Positive 1 times negative 3b is a negative 3b. And finally, positive 1 times negative 3 is minus 3. There. And so after this, we are now going to simplify further by combining like terms. Negative 18 at the left remains negative 18. The right side combines. All right, this negative b and negative 3b is negative 4b. Okay, negative 4b. There. And then the numbers positive 1 and negative 3 is negative 2. So we finally continue. This will now be something like removing the 2 here. Okay, so the way to do that is by way of addition. So negative 18, you add 2. We are going to add 2, and then this is negative 4b minus 2. We're going to add 2. There. Now this negative 2 and 2 gives you 0, so that the right side will only become negative 4b. Now the left side reduced to negative 16. The right side is reduced to negative 4b. There. And next line will be division property. Which are going to divide this negative 16 by a negative 4. Okay. All right. Now that should be for the left side. The right side is negative 4b. You divide this by the same negative 4. All right. You might have questions here. How do we know the divisor from this line? How do we know the divisor? It's always the number beside the variable unknown. Okay. That's where you get the divisor. So your divisor here is a negative 4. So the final answer here will be, this is 16 negative divided by 4 negative, that's 4. That's equal to now b. Okay. Now we don't write it this way. It should be b equal to 4. There. And so just remember the answer. It's a positive 4, and we shall find out after a little while. We shall move to the other screen. Our answer is a positive 4, so we shall see it. What's the answer? There. All right. The answer is correct at positive 4. Now we're going to end our session here, and we'll continue with other numbers, with the fractions. Okay. So we'll have to start. We'll have to stop here. Okay. All right. Bye-bye.